Good day, everyone. Bruce Yoakum from southern New Hampshire. It's my most recent place of residence. I'm American. American's apple pie. And the apple pie is kind of stinking pretty bad right now. I keep touching on brainwashing because we don't know. It's coming at all sides at all times. It's not like, there's one big brainwashing, sort of Trump thing maybe, which you could argue is a case for mass psychosis for sure. That's just an aspect of brainwashing. I'm going to keep touching on it because they're going to keep drilling into you, and then you got to go onto YouTube and research it yourself. And that's my goal. I'm not the place to go to learn about mass psychosis, but you might learn that mass psychosis exists from somebody like me, perhaps, if this went at all anywhere. This is just a set of my ideas. I talk to myself, so I say, why not like talk to myself on video? So I've purposely made it very, very amateurish, okay? So I actually paste the number 9, here, number 3 underneath it, see? Now you know. So it's intentionally, I'm a graphic designer, so I can tell you that's, not very professional looking, Bruce. Yeah, so what? I'm not trying to impress you with my graphics. I'm not trying to impress you with my dirty t-shirt that probably I'm wearing for 2 days. I'm not trying to conform by having my hat on backwards, like old men shouldn't do that, right? I mean, I don't care. You want this way to make you feel better? How about I take this and you see my ugly hair? So the point is this. I'm not trying to impress anybody other than the ideas coming out of my brain. And that's why I'm doing this. And I think that people are very unaware of what's really happening in our society. And maybe I have a little more awareness of that because I watch a lot of stuff that pertains to that. Hats off to YouTube on their algorithms that have made that the case, because I wouldn't know any of this stuff. And I have to say, you watch one thing and you're going to get like sort of type of thing in that same category, if you will. And I suppose that probably works for bad things. I mean, I assume it does. You know what I mean? I mean, even things that, if you're interested in a certain video game, you're going to get all sorts of stuff about that video game. And, if you're interested in Adolf Hitler, you're going to get all sorts of things about Adolf Hitler. And that's not necessarily, I might research Adolf Hitler. It doesn't mean I'm a fascist. I'm just a curious person. I know cursory stuff about him, and I don't think I'll ever do heavy, deep diving into the guy. It's more fascism that I'm sort of interested in knowing more about, and just sort of what makes that happen. So just wanted to point out that everybody should think about what's going on here in our country and question everything, why you think something, because of your sort of what's being fed to us. So I'm going to give you a good classic example of this, and even in the course of these videos over the last couple days, certainly Matt Gaetz has been a figure. I've mentioned him and blah, blah, blah. He's going to be the next Attorney General. And obviously at this point in time, we know that's not the case. And more deep diving with my research, say on a YouTube, podcast of some sort, I've found that, funny enough, Matt Gaetz had more in common with me than other Republicans, for sure, and in the better interest of maybe humanity, even as repulsive as he kind of is. Okay, I'm not like endorsing Matt Gaetz as this great guy, but a lot of the I've always felt like, for example, it's a criminal operation. The U.S. government is a criminal operation, and it has heavily influenced by the Israeli sort of coalition, and that's more than just its sort of support, financial support through lobbying and all that, which is enormous with the Israeli sort of influence there as well. It's way deeper than that. It's, people around the country, people around the world, really, that are sort of using Israel as their main arm to, in Middle Eastern, far Asian affairs, and even goes more than that, actually, but let's say primarily that, and obviously Palestine, but it goes beyond Palestine. It goes to Iraq. It goes to, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan. It's going now into, Lebanon, Iran. All these sorts of things that we've been programmed to. Like, these are all terrorist states. It's all propaganda. It's all being told to us. And so we believe it as it is, including me, when they say, now I'm finally waking up to say, hey, boy, there's, a very good chance that this is just, frankly, U.S. American government manipulation of its own public's minds and the world's minds along with it. And, we're very much, do as the United States wants you to do, especially if you're another country. And we rule by the iron fist, which is the military-industrial complex. So they're always looking for wars. They want wars. They want to keep feeding the machine there, and it's an evil machine, totally evil. We are the terrorists of the world. We are the terrorists. So anyways, yeah, it's really bad, to the point where I almost can't think about anything else, because I feel like if I'm just going along with the old, what I've always done as a person, American, having fun, trying to have a good time, worried about my own selfish, whatever it is, that, I don't know, I don't even think it's as deep as that. It really concerns me that if you watch any videos of any of the genocide going on, if you're not concerned after that, what can I say? You're not a human being. So what we're doing is very inhumane, what the government is doing on that front and a whole lot of other fronts. We're the ones out there starting these wars, okay? It's almost got to the point which, I would never hear me say, it's like, I respect Putin more than Biden, okay? You know what I mean? Like, he's less of a terrorist, let's put it that way. As bad as Putin is. And all these guys, I don't care if it's China or North Korea, everything's that we've been meant to totally demonize, which, and I'm not saying any of these people, I'm not saying Matt Gaetz is a good person, or the leaders are good people, or their forms of government are good, but it's a question of, international policy, whose policy is more terroristic, I guess, more in favor of having wars to solve things than actual diplomacy. And I would suggest that almost all those things I mentioned, those evil, are more condoned to diplomacy, just as long as it's not United States' version of diplomacy. So, and that's understandable. They're very imperialistic, if that's how you say it. Empire-driven. They're the new empire, the United States Empire. It was the British Empire. British Empire is gone pretty much. They're pawns of the United States, much like our northern neighbors might be pawns. Australia might be pawn. There's other countries that are really toe the line with the United States, but I think they're even starting to question that strategy. Understandably so. I would be if I was Canada, or Mexico. Mexico might be more more apt to sort of really toe the American line, because they're the new China. That's where everything's going to be made pretty soon, and they're going to benefit economically, but very, very much so. Wages are cheaper down there. It's easy to get at. You don't have to ship it halfway across the world. So there's a lot of advantages to using Mexico, and I think that's a great plan that businesses have now, because they can still get beyond filthy rich. And so if I was to advise Mexico at all, it's like, hey, Mexico, like South Park, Randy, don't let the U.S. stick it up you-know-what, because that's what they're going to try to do every turn. They're going to, they exploit, United States corporations exploit, the U.S. military certainly exploits, the U.S. government exploits. They're a bunch of exploiters, and they're exploiting us as citizens as well. They don't forget about the citizens they want to exploit. Matter of fact, we might be first on their to-do list. So other examples of just total brainwashing and just going along with everything would be how we eat. So like I say, where everything is interconnected, these chords are interconnected, these notes are interconnected, it's everything's interconnected. So how you eat might determine your health, obviously, but it's totally ignored by your PCP, by your primary care physician. So you're not going to hear, they might vaguely touch upon it, but they'd much rather give you Ozempic. You know what I mean? That's the cure to eating bad. Let me dance and sing about my Ozempic. I got type 2 diabetes, woo, but I got Ozempic. So, yeah, it's a sick world, man. And I happen to be on this YouTube site. It's called Good Mood Diet Plus, because it's not just diet. It's mouth care. It's how much sun you get, exercise, obviously, but also what you think about and what you I don't know. So it's not just diet. At that point, it was mostly diet, maybe lifestyle stuff and supplements. I'm a big believer in certain supplements. I'm a believer that you shouldn't take anything Big Pharma is selling. And I don't. I don't even take an aspirin. You know what I mean? I occasionally take an ibuprofen, but it's like a 200, like the small little, that's it. I used to take like 800 every time I had anything. I do supplements in its place, and I'm feeling way more healthier. And if I never see a PCP again, they just annoy me when I go there. Like it's, if I have a problem, don't get me wrong, I'm going there and okay, I'll see them then. But hopefully this is all in an effort to avoid them as much as possible by being healthy. God, isn't that an idea? I don't know anybody who eats like I do. They all look at me. When you eat well, you're like a pariah. Kind of like what Robert Kennedy Jr. and what he's doing. The funny thing is, there's a few of Donald Trump's appointments that I don't necessarily disagree. Like Matt Gaetz, I will get back to him incidentally. I got a few minutes. Let's stick with Robert Kennedy Jr., whose father, incidentally, while him is a total American hero. He died trying to sort of pursue righteousness and honesty, and that's a very dangerous thing to do if you're in American politics, and he paid the price. If you don't think he's a patsy or Saran was a patsy, or Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, believe what you want. I would say it's about 99.9% chances those were both hits by us, by our own government. So I believe that every politician pretty much is compromised. There's some that aren't, but by and large, if they can compromise you as a government official, then they have you, right? And it's organized crime. Matt Gaetz is a victim of that. Like there's all this sexual controversy is, him having sex with a 17-year-old while two girls were watching. That's not Matt Gaetz, Matt Gaetz got in that situation because that situation was created for him, all right? Probably. And that situation is created with a whole lot of politicians. And once you have that video, you have them. You know what I mean? How they weren't going to, I don't know. On this case, it's just because it's the last day. This is the 23rd of November, I believe. How they're not showing you everything. You can bet where that came from. There's a ton more. There's videos, hardcore, up close, whatever. And, her license, I'm 17, I just had sex with Matt Gaetz. Thanks for the $10,000, secret agent man. But, it's kind of like that in real life. That's extortion. It's a known Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency. Yeah, that's their primary way of manipulating people. And if it's done in Israel, they learned it from us, okay? We're one and the same, just different heads of the same animal. So, Zionism, whether you're a Christian Zionist or as Biden has declared himself to be, or Jewish, Zionists, which are more the classic Zionists. You might as well call yourself fascist, because that's what it is. It's fascist. It's terrorist operations that kill people and look to grab land, that doesn't belong to them, and that's their real estate strategy, basically. It's just, okay, they're on the land I want, kill them, and let's move on. So that's what's going on in Palestine, and it's going on in different places of the world as well. Or you just drive them out to like reservations. I don't know, what country did that? Put all the indigenous people on reservations after they massacred most of them. I can't think, I'm trying to come up with it. Damn, what's the country's name? It begins with U, maybe? A? I don't know, I can't remember. So anyways, there are definitely many instances. It happens in China, happened here, obviously, it's happening in Israel right now. So it's in front of, problem is right now it's happening in front of our eyes. So you can't hide the kids that are being starved to death. You can't hide the kids that are having their, blown up arms amputated without any anesthetics. Watch that. Just watch 2 seconds of that, which is all I was able to watch, incidentally. And that's happening right now by the tens of thousands, Yeah. If you're not upset about that, I'm sorry, I'm not even talking to you anymore. If you're my friend and family, I don't care who you are. I mean, it's something that has to be talked about and dealt with, and we have to somehow, so here's the bottom line, okay? I'm about the end here. Somehow, some way, everybody's concerns got to get together and, be aware that we have a wannabe dictator, that his whole stated intention is to be that. So, in spite of that, half the country voted for him. If you don't think that's like, shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak, think again. You guys made a grave error. And bad as Kamala Harris, it's just the worst and maybe somewhat better. I hate Democrats just like everybody else, but I just like, both parties are should be just kaput. They should be totally stopped at some point. And the movement should be about that, like, let's bring up 2 other parties that do exist, which would be Green Party and the Independents, if you will, and maybe others, anything's fair game. If we even go to parties, I'm a big advocate of doing something sort of lottery style, where there isn't any professional politicians. It's just citizens, you put your name in the hat, if you get called, you can do it, or, pass on to the next person who put their name in the hat. Very simple, very non-corrupt, very no money, no anything. Just do your job the way it's meant to be. You know what I mean? For the people, for the country, for yourself, and for your kids. Right now, it's just a total shit fest. It's a total corrupt, all about the money, all about how much you can put in your offshore accounts, all about extortion. They're all, like I said, I can't say they're all extorting on both sides of the aisles, but you can bet when you say, why would you do that or vote like that? Yeah, well, because you got a sex tape on you, bub. You'll do whatever, you'll dance, when they say dance, jump, how high, you know what I mean? So, dance, whatever. It's sad, but that's the reality we live in. So back to Matt Gaetz, and I'll end on this. He's got the exact lie. He's extorted. He can't do, he's also, they can invent shit, okay? So, she might have been 19. All right, well, she's 17 now. I mean, it's all, it's all concoction anyways. And, being a politician, if you're not on guard for people trying to extort you, I mean, are you going to vote a certain way if the guy comes up in the shadows and says, hey, vote this way, your granddaughter is going to get in a mysterious accident? If you don't think that stuff is there and alive in this criminal, organized crime world we live in, think again. They're either like so much money has been given to them that they have to do that. And then, with the mafia, that, once they do something for you, you owe them. And they will call you on that. All right. And, regardless of what it is, it might be something you totally don't want to do, but you will do it. Or else there is no saying no to the mafia. Believe me, I know that. Okay. You don't say no. We're not, pay some sort of price. So, yeah, that's about it for today. I think I'll y'all want me to sing. Donald, you're such a dick. Make me sick. Anyways, goodbye.